Welcome, 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 everyone, to a special edition of Generally Irritable Film Reviews. Coming at you, ready to talk about, yep, you guessed it, the Barbie movie. Everybody's talking about it. Is it woke? Is it not? Is it feminist? You know, we like to cover news and politics, especially as it relates to culture. And what better way to discuss culture than talking about film reviews about silly movies.
Yeah.
So here we are. Welcome to the Violence Conductor, as always, or A Darker Perspective.
A darker perspective today.
Your darker perspective today. So you guys, Benjamin has a couple of different aliases, or alias.
Alias works.
There's
Moniker,
a couple of
Jennings.
on Twitter, where you can find Benjamin's opinions on news and politics. Check out A Darker Perspective. That's where you're going to get the more unfiltered, raw, unedited opinions.
Sans filtration.
Yes. I feel like that is an anime reference.
No, it's not.
Like Super Saiyan?
No.
Or like sands through an hourglass?
Sans as in without. Is that French? I don't know what that's from. Maybe it's Latin.
Okay, okay, sure.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Ooh. So, here we go. Barbie. You guys, we're going to try to keep this short and sweet because everybody's already talking about this movie. There's going to be spoilers, I'm sure, in the review. I just want to start out by saying that, like a lot of things nowadays, when we are, the conversations are, start with things like, okay, groomer. This movie was definitely billed as a family-friendly movie meant for you to take your kids to. Pretty much every scene from the trailer was taken from the first half of the movie. But I want to be really clear, anybody who hasn't seen this movie yet, who's planning on going, this is not a kids movie. It's a very adult themed, a lot of adult jokes, a lot of adult potty humor, and just adult themed generally. Yeah. So I would not bring your kids.
Even the parts that aren't jokes it gets heavy sometimes. My kid is not going to appreciate that. No,
it really, especially if you're bringing a young girl who likes Barbie and is playing with toys and things like that. This movie is really about, funny enough, it actually is very anti-feminism to me, in a way, by basically demonstrating the lie that is the feminist movement, okay? When we decided as women, or as a culture, that women, instead of being wives, mothers, and homemakers, that we were instead going to be a part of the economic system and cogs in the wheel, the devastation and the detriment that actually does to women. We tell them that their only value is to smash the patriarchy and go to work and be a freaking wage slave, and kids are not going to relate to that.
It's a strong one, wage slave.
Yeah. Call back to Jeremy Boring, but hey, whatevs. So, Benjamin, what are your initial thoughts on this movie?
I didn't particularly like it. It was interesting, but it's not my type of film, really, to be honest. I'm normally more of an action guy. This is not an action movie. And anytime I'm a man, so because I am part of the quote-unquote patriarchy, watching a movie that is clearly not written for me and clearly attacking me is not probably going to put you on a high pedestal automatically. Like, you're climbing uphill at that point to begin with. I'm already starting off by pretty much being insulted. And it does it in a cheeky way or whatever, but like, it didn't have enough heart to be throwing those kinds of jabs.
It seemed like it wanted to have a heart.
Yeah.
That was the thing that was weird to me. And I've heard a lot of people say similar things. This movie felt like it started out with one script and then got kind of bastardized along the way. Like, it had the potential to be really beautiful, and because there were a lot of moments where I was like, you're demonstrating how the tearing down of men is actually a problem. You're demonstrating that the lie that women can, you know, have the career and be family and be happy, this like work-life balance nonsense, that just doesn't work.
Well, quicker way, let's first, before we get into all that, let's general overview. Movies about a Barbie who stops, she's supposed to be the perfect, regular,
standard Barbie.
Standard Barbie.
Stereotypical Barbie.
Yeah. And Margot Robbie, right?
Yeah.
And so Margot Robbie starts going through some issues, some regular woman type issues, depression.
She's got some cellulite.
Her feet are normal. They're not. It's just a whole bunch of normal things. She's not perfect and flawless anymore. And so that sends her on this journey of what's wrong with me, and through some understanding, there's something going on in the real world. This is like a fictional world that's attached somehow magically to the real world. And if her real world person is playing with her, that could cause her to feel
unhappy.
what they're feeling, right? So there's some transference that takes place. How that works when there's millions of dolls out there, nobody has any idea. But whatever, that's what they're saying. So she has to go on this journey to discover herself, blah, 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 and solve the problem for the other girl, and in turn solve the problem for herself. That's what this movie is generally about. So that's the plot of the movie.
Yes.
It could have been cool. It's super, super preachy. So it gets hard to get into.
Yep. The Kens are basically worthless in Barbie Land. They are mocked and derided.
Yes.
Everything in Barbie Land is about Barbie. Now, in reality, in Barbie, the doll, that's kind of true, right? So there's Barbie and there's all the derivatives of Barbie. You know, Barbie was intended to show girls that they could be anything. There's President Barbie, Supreme Court Barbie. Everything in Barbie Land is the matriarchy. And the Kens are just there as kind of showpieces, as second-class citizens who are not valued, important, and don't have any job.
Correct. They have no purpose outside of being on Barbie's arm.
It is misandry all the way.
Correct. Pretty much. So yeah, and there's a story there that could have been really cool, because if you look at the movie from a whole, it starts off with like a 2001 Space Odyssey callback, and this little girls hating playing with baby dolls because all they could be was a mother in the time. For the record, just talk history for a second. That's a lie. That's already a lie. Women were all kinds of things before that. Women were warriors. If you know anything about the African continent, there are plenty of woman queens who are running empires or doing wars and all the stuff. There's a bunch of them. There's ones that scared off the Roman Empire, just ready to throw those hands. You have the movies about the Dora Milaje. There's plenty of women who did a bunch of different things, but apparently Barbie was the thing that was going to change that all in the 50s. That's weird. We're not even going to go historically how that's inaccurate, but that's what it's claiming.
And here's the thing is, they demonstrated immediately, if they were trying to demonstrate or show misandry versus misogyny, right? If they're trying to say that the patriarchy is a problem and we need to smash the patriarchy, all they did was show that when women are in charge, it's just the same as when men are in charge of everything. And that was clear right from the beginning. Yep. Okay, so if women are in charge of everything, They dismiss the men as being pointless and just
you deny them
not important.
You deny them identity. You deny them true community. They have
purpose.
No purpose at all. They're just there, and you don't even care if they're there.
It's not girls' night every night.
There's no need for anything.
No need for a dude.
There's really only one cool thing about the movie. There's like one or two really dope lines. One is when Barbie comes to the real world and she sees what it's like to really be a human, and that was a really dope moment where they didn't tell you what was going on, they just showed you, because the rest of the movie is preaching to you like you're a 5-year-old kid, and like you can't, there's no subtext. It is all over text. It is highlighted text in bold. There's no
which
saying something, like the scene's not supposed to be about the scene all the time. In this movie, it is the opposite of show don't tell.
And that's the thing for our viewers that are not film critics. Okay, there is a what do you call it? A saying in film: "Show don't tell."
Correct.
Okay, and it's assumed that your viewer and that your audience is not stupid. So you want to show them in the dialogue or in the way that people are reacting, the emotions,
if I want to
background.
If I want to draw your attention to something, I cut to a close-up of it. I don't have somebody in the scene say, "Oh my God, that pin's so important." You just show the close-up. You show a man's hand tightening on the handle. You look up, you see the sweat on his brow. You see the other guy maybe dart his eyes down to it, then come back up. You now know that's a thing that's important. Good filmmakers can do that. Good filmmakers can do a lot without having to say it. This movie was so overt, which to me makes it not a good script. It's not good. Most of the jokes aren't funny. One of the only other things I see in the movie that is really, really good is when she's talking to Ken. And Ken, they've done this reversal where Ken now has power, and he's like, "How does it feel?" And in most movies you watch, specifically when there's a male-female component or relationship, the guy never returns fire. The girl can do whatever she wants, and the dude's in constant pursuit, no matter how hurt he is, how disrespected he is. He never sets a boundary, has enough, none of that. That one scene when Ryan Gosling was really good, because he's a doofus the whole time. And mind you, he's the only idiot out of everybody in the cast. Everyone else is smart. Traditional Barbie's smart. Stereotypical Barbie's smart. The president Barbie's smart. All the other Barbies are super intelligent. Even the other guys are smart.
Are less dumb than he is.
They have their moments. Ryan Gosling is the only one that doesn't seem to really be smart. But that one line he delivers was like, that moment right there, what they're showing you right there, where he doesn't want to be that way, but he's like, "No, it's your turn to feel the pain." I was like, ooh. I felt that. That was actually good. That's where they had the spark of goodness, and they just let it go.
And that's what happens is, this is what's one of the things I think is really interesting. So they go to the real world to try to figure out why the person, playing with Barbie is sad, so she can be not sad, so stereotypical Barbie can go back to Barbie, and everything can be fine. Ken goes with her because he wants to be with her. He's trying to have a purpose. He wants to show, that he can be somebody and that he can be useful. He wants to be her protector. And he discovers that in the real world, it's a patriarchy, and that the men are in charge, and that they matter and are useful. And he gets so excited that he brings that back to Barbie Land and shares it with all the Kens. And so then, because of that, interestingly enough, all the Barbies and Kens are now happy. The Kens are now ruling the roost, and the Barbies all seem to be happy, but they've been brainwashed by the Kens to believe that they're happy. And so what does that say about the Barbies, that they supposedly were all smart?
But also, you skip the part. So when they say, when it's now the kingdom, the problem is that it's like traditional. The women are massaging the men's feet, bringing them beers, and they love just being basically like a traditional super trad wife. That's kind of the joke that they're trying to make. There's nothing bad happening. No one's being hurt or abused or not eating anybody. There's nothing crazy. It's just the men are now being catered to, whereas the women were being catered to. It just reversed. It literally just reversed.
And so, but we just skip over the whole section about how it's possible that Ken could have come back, brought in like one day, talked about the patriarchy, and then every Barbie was then just brainwashed.
And I think that the main problem is that what this could have done is shown neither one of these ways is really the way for a team to be functional.
Correct.
And a pair to really work. What this could have driven home is that didn't work, and then the Barbie's way didn't work, and then maybe, okay, it's Barbie, but we're gonna be a little more reasonable. You know, maybe the Barbies still are the leaders in this world, but we can be more reasonable.
Yes.
But they take some jabs to throw at the real world, and it's just very awkward and weird when you understand reality. And also, like, I guess it works if you're an adult because you should be able to parse out truth from fiction. But if you are a child, a little girl watching that movie, that's actually some really dangerous propaganda to feed them. That if they don't have the ability to be like, okay, this is funny, but this isn't real. Like, that's not really how it is in the real world.
Yep.
It would be actually kind of dangerous for kids to see it.
And that's what I think the opportunity here, which I think is the most disappointing, and we talk about, Benjamin and I as a couple all the time, is the importance of the triple braided cord. You know, we as a married couple work because we understand that we each bring different value to the table. We each have our own set of strengths and weaknesses, and that together with God, we are a triple braided cord, and as a team, we build each other up. And as we build each other up, as we support and love one another, as we rely on God to keep us united, keep us focused and moving forward, we become better. We become more. We have more power, influence, and are happier, not only as individuals, but as a couple. We are better able to withstand arguments and fights and trials and tribulations. And instead, this just is more talk of, oh, well, we're just different and we value different things and everybody sucks.
Well, I have a different take on it. I'll say this.
Okay.
There's no way a Barbie movie, if you can't say God 3 times in Sound of Freedom, they're not going to talk about a freaking triple braided cord. They're not going to talk about a freaking triple braided cord in a movie like this.
I got you.
What they could have talked about, which is what people seem to have a big issue with, what they're showing in this movie is patriarchy and matriarchy. What they're showing is ugly versions of submission. See, in the beginning, the men are absolutely submissive to the women, to the extent where they're not even men anymore. They're not homemakers. They're not even house dads, let alone they're not leaders, or they're not doing anything of value whatsoever. So they add nothing to the women's lives. They could have died and nobody would have cared. And then when you flip it, it's just the opposite. They're just serving and catering to the men. So like one woman is, she plays the president. I forget, Issa Rae. She plays the president. She's no longer the president anymore. She doesn't care. I'm like, no. She'd still be the president. She might have a man that she cares about. So what we could have done is show submission could look a different way. That's what, even if you're not a Christian, if we're in a functioning relationship, there's times where Erica's going to lead, there's times where I'm going to have to lead. And we fall in the line under the mission, because I believe that what they're doing, my teammate is using her utmost for the highest of our team. Like, they're pursuing something valuable, so I'm willing to get in line. And then vice versa. If I'm not pursuing something high and worthwhile, there's no reason for her to follow me. And vice versa. She's doing trash garbage stuff. She wants to go rob a liquor store. You're on your own, fam. I'm not following you with that. That's foolishness. And so this could have had an opportunity to show that when you have a teammate, you're still supposed to validate their purpose, and you're not supposed to be all about what you're about. You're supposed to be all about what's best for the team, and you cultivate your team members like a good manager does. But this movie didn't want to be that serious. It wanted to take pot shots while trying to be semi-serious on the female tip. And I think that it missed a really, really cool opportunity to do something actually impressive.
So I would give it, I don't know, The only thing I will say that was really the most positive thing about this movie, it was beautiful. The costuming was dope.
The sets, the way they did the sets, the way they made it really like a Barbie dollhouse when Margot would sometimes act like a real Barbie and move stiff.
Yep.
Or when she was taking a shower and there's no water or nothing in the tea. That stuff was actually...
That was funny.
That stuff was good.
It could have been so good, you guys.
It could have been poignant.
I'm actually really disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm
giving it 2 out of 5 blades. It is not worth spending good hard-earned American cash on. If I catch on a matinee for like $5 and like a Cinemark Tuesday or some joints like that, or you know, whatever one of these theaters is doing, that's fine. But as far as dropping $15 for, it's not worth it.
No, I'd give it 1 3/4 blades.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to give it 2 because that's like half. But
No,
1 just seems unfairly low.
2 is below average.
I know, but I don't know. It just it could have gone so hard, you guys.
Yeah, and it's technically bad. That's not good writing. Even American Pie, even though it's on the nose, is not like, it's not preachy. You can't be on the nose and preachy.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
pick 1.
1.5. I'm giving it 1.5.
Yeah, man, it was a lot. It was a lot there. So, do better.
That's the quick and dirty.
It's not a movie that was meant for me. I'm a dude. It was clearly not marketed at me, so I understand, you know,
I don't know who it was marketed at.
It was marketed at adult women.
It was marketed at adult women who hate their lives and their husbands.
Wow, that's a strong statement. And so with that note, that's all I got.
All right, guys. That was the sometimes we do really long, in-depth movie reviews, but this movie was so bad, this is all it gets.
Wow. All right, now that's going to be unimpressive, and probably going to get attacked for this.
I love it.
They're already attacking Ben Shapiro. I saw his. I've seen a lot of you getting attacked over their takes on this movie. If you might enjoy it, it'll be mindless fun, but just you cannot take it too seriously.
Yeah, don't take it seriously. So hey, you guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go check us out on Twitter, Erica Reddick and A Darker Perspective.
And shout out to our patrons and our subscribers on Subscribestar for Generally Irritable.
Yes.
Thank you for supporting us. If you want to see your name going across this screen at the end of these videos and special thanks, go on over to Subscribestar, Generally Irritable. And, hit that subscribe button.
Boom.
$5-10 goes a long way.
See you next time.